Welcome to this week's edition of the Sports Scoop Coaches Show. Joining me, even though the baseball season has now started, Ted, and we're still looking for Coach Joe Pfeiffer to be here.
Pfeiffer?
Yeah, he's up there flying a kite with you, I think.
And his fava beans? He's going to have some for breakfast?
Joining me is my number one right-hand man, Ted Theodore Hammond.
Yeah, somebody told me to go fly a kite, so I took him up literally.
And I bet it hasn't been the first time someone's told you that either.
In fact, it's a family show. I'd use some other ones, too. Okay.
Well, some teams got some action in, Ted.
Yeah.
We weren't one of them, but the tennis program had a meet scheduled for Tuesday, a match. They did not get it in. They will open Tuesday at New Prague, and Kyle tells me he might have some 8th and 9th graders in the varsity lineup because of lack of numbers.
My goodness. What in the world, after all that success, you'd think it'd breed success.
He says the boys' tennis dynasty is coming to an end.
Uh-oh.
Just because of not getting the numbers anymore.
Yeah.
Golfers, I don't believe anyone's played yet, Teddy, but possibly that I haven't heard of. JWP opens Tuesday at Madelia.
No, they already had one.
Did they have one?
Yeah, I think I saw it in the paper. They won. Who was it? Alden Conger or somebody.
They were scheduled to be at Freeborn, I believe. Yep.
Okay, well, Manshagen and Schmitz led the way. I think they both had like 45s in those terrible conditions.
Okay.
But we were supposed to play them on Friday, and then when I woke up and saw snow on the ground, I just called AD Hedevard and just said, I'm not going to shovel the course today, so we canceled right away. We didn't cancel, we postponed it till this coming Thursday. So we got a makeup day going with JWP.
Okay, NRHEG, Brad Ritt's crew, I haven't seen any results from them. They're scheduled to play at Blooming Prairie tomorrow. Tomorrow now doesn't sound a heck of a lot better, about a high of 40, but looks like
sun will be out.
Yeah, looks like Wednesday the warm-up's going to start.
Yep.
So that'll be nice. And Teddy,
Yo.
You haven't got one in yet. Is your first one now Tuesday against St. Peter?
That's correct. Here at Lakeside. Lakeside is really good. In fact, we went out. You won't believe this. On Wednesday, I told the kids, okay, we're going to go and we're going to watch a movie called My All-American. Have you ever seen the movie?
No.
Andy, you ever seen the movie?
No.
You got to see it. It's a true story based on a safety from the University of Texas. And the ironic thing is, they're showing back when Darrell Royal went to the Wishbone.
Yep. Okay.
And for the people out there, even if you don't like football, you'd like this movie. And I went into the video or whatever, Family Gallery, whatever that video place is in town, and I just told the lady I need something to entertain teenage kids for about an hour and a half for practice. She said, "Have you seen this movie?" I said, "No." So she gives it to me free.
Wow.
Said, "You're going to use it for practice?" I said, "Yeah." So I'm going to go in there all the time now. Just say, it's gonna be, I want it for practice.
Need practice for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, ma'am.
The Revenant. I need the Revenant for practice. Okay. Anyhow, we watched the movie, and every guy and gal in there were crying at the end. I mean, I won't spoil the movie, but it's a true story. And here's this guy running back for Texas named Jim Bertelsen. Okay? It's in the movie. I played against that guy in high school. I'm thinking, and then he went on to play at the Rams.
Yep.
So it's definitely a true story. But so we did that. And well, these other kids said, we don't want to watch a movie. We want to go out in the course. Now, the wind chill is probably about 25 degrees. I had like 12 kids go out and play. Thursday, okay? They want to go out and play again. I said, we might have a match on. Yeah, that's why we want to go out. So on Friday, we didn't have the match. So then we watched the Masters, okay? And then we went over why they name all the holes after a tree or whatever. And it was kind of fun, educational. And about 12 of them said, we want to go out in the course. I said, well, even Matt, the pro out there, doesn't want to go out in the course. Well, we're going. So they go out and they play. So we got some really gung-ho golfers out there right now that the elements didn't bother them. So bring on the weather. I don't care anymore. And it's one of my, a lot of my better golfers are out there. So that bodes well for the future for the golf team.
You bet.
Okay.
You bet.
And then, like I said, with this kite flying weather we had, and I got my ponytail. That thing was blowing straight out the other day. It was just terrible. Okay.
Well, I woke up Friday morning. We were scheduled to play a game as well, Teddy, and I saw white grass. I saw the winds whipping by, and I don't like to get postponed from games.
No.
I kept waiting. When is that call coming? I don't want to sit up there in this.
It was unbelievable.
Luckily, at noon it came. So
Mother Nature. Mother Nature.
Can't control it.
Nope.
Track teams, I don't know of anyone. They might have had some indoor action, but JWP is supposed to play Monday. They're supposed to have their final indoor meet at MSU. NRHEG is supposed to be at home on Thursday and an outdoor meet.
I saw some runners on TV over at the field house in Mankato.
Yeah, that's a well-used place
Right
early
now,
in the spring.
Yes, it is.
WEM, they're supposed to be Tuesday at Hayfield, and the Blue Jays had a couple of outdoors postponed last week. They're scheduled now Friday to go down to Blue Earth, so I'm sure those people are itching for warm weather as much as anyone.
They're talking like Wednesday on 60s.
Yeah.
So finally.
Yep. And could be 70s on Thursday and Friday. So
wow. Bring it on.
Yeah, bring it on. Softball teams. Most of those teams, I guess all of our 4 teams got underway.
Mm-hmm.
JWP lost to Medford 14-4 in Lenny Kroll's opener.
Yep. Going to be pitching.
Yep, that's the key in softball. NRHEG went 10 innings in their opener and then gave up a 6 spot or 9 innings, gave up a 6 spot in the 9th and lost 10-4 to Faribault BA in their first game of the year.
Sounds like Jordan Spieth got a 6 spot in the 18th hole.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Speaking of the Masters, not to change the topic, but I really thought of you on Jason Day's round.
Oh, geez.
Because this is kind of the way you shoot. 7 under on the front 9, 8 over on the back 9.
Nah.
What that would tell me, not that we'd ever be 7 under, but,
Yeah.
what that would tell me is that you were playing with a guy like me and I started talking to you on the turn. And got in your head.
I'm really good at psychobabble.
I don't know.
Okay, so
I'd hate to play against you one-on-one because you wouldn't take a second fiddle to anybody talking.
Well, I can get them out of their game real quick.
NRHEG plays Monday at Waterville. WEM and NR square off Monday. The Bucks have 2 games in already. Crystal Lamont's crew 2-0. They beat Maple River 12-11. They beat Waseca 8-4 in their first 2 games.
2 quality teams they beat out right away.
Yep. They're really having a great athletic year at Waterville.
For girls especially. Yeah.
Yep. And as we said, Monday they will play NRHEG. Waseca, Melissa Cox lost their opener 8-4, and talking to her Friday, she just shook her head and said, pitching.
Yep.
Evidently, the Blue Jays have no one that's overpowering, so they have to hit their spots, and according to her, they weren't hitting the spots in the season opener.
And then rely on your defense.
Yeah, yep.
But you got to, that kind of weather, I don't care.
It's tough in any sport, you bet. Friday, they'll be in action home against Marshall in a doubleheader.
Ruh-roh.
And, of course, the baseball season, and first of all, I guess we have to talk about the demolition of Tink Larson Field, caught fire Wednesday night.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, right.
Are you serious?
Lost the grandstand, lost the clubhouses, lost the bathrooms, lost the equipment storage shed.
How about the concession stand?
The concession stand, I understand, wasn't too bad. Okay. That was on the other end. The field is fine, the dugouts are fine, and it'll now be a case of how fast they can get things cleared away. A couple of ex-Blue Jays, from what I've heard, have already stepped up big. Nick Raffman up at Blake has said, we'll get you a temporary backstop when things are cleared out. And, of course, Jeff Schoberg, I think, has already purchased 2 big mowers to take care of the field. And I understand he'll probably put a third one out there. So I think lost the mowing equipment and stuff under the grandstand as well. So it's inconvenience is what it is, Teddy, because now the seniors are probably not going to get a home game on that field. It could happen in May, I guess. We've already had offers from Otana, Faribault, New Richland, Waterville to use their fields, and we have scheduled 3 of our April home games at Darts Park in Otana. So, but it's just a thing of life. Sometimes you get kicked. It's how you react. You're going to roll over and say, well, we can't win because we can't play at home, or are you going to, let's go. We told our guys, we'll play where they tell us, when they tell us, and as far as we know, the bases are 90 feet on all other fields, too.
I think Kinder and McRae said that they would host the funeral for the field, and if they needed one, so we'll see what happens. But a lot of memories in there. We talked that one day about the Met Stadium seats. We went to the Met Stadium before they blew it up and brought those all back, and I guess those really added fuel to the fire when those went up. But I think there's still one row of them was behind the third base dugout.
And there was some over behind first, too.
Okay, so they still got some memorabilia or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, so, hey, a lot of memories there, but the field is still great.
Yeah.
And the diamond's good and everything else. So
and no one was hurt, no one was injured. That's the main thing.
That was the best thing.
Yeah. It's a tough loss, but
Life
Suck
goes
it
on.
up and move on.
Yeah.
One of the sayings on our baseball team, Teddy, is we don't allow butts.
Oh.
Not the kind behind you,
Okay.
the excuse kind. You know, I struck out, but the ump screwed me. I made an error, but it was a bad. No, you made an error. You struck out. You don't have a field. You play where you're told. Let's go. So.
I remember Roger Stipple used to say he wouldn't take butts. Okay, he says butts all smell. He said so. I don't remember exactly how I phrased it, but he said everybody's got one and they all stink. He says don't ever use butts around me. Okay.
That would sound like Stip.
That was good, Stip. Okay.
JWP, they got their first game in. Teddy, they lost to Hayfield 10-4.
Jeez.
Didn't see.
I didn't see anything on that.
I saw
That's
that.
surprising.
All I saw was a gentleman by the name of Dylan Guzzi got a 2-run triple, I believe.
Okay.
Didn't mention who pitched or anything. So
Bummer.
hopefully, it was Saturday they played. Hopefully Tommy Gannon pitched through all he could, and it will be unavailable for Monday.
Right. We'll see
Okay.
what the other pitchers are going to
Yeah.
be. But at the same time, I remember last year you were saying how when you guys played JWP, how well they hit the ball. So maybe hitting will not be their forte this year, but 4 runs is enough.
Right. NRHEG, they lost their opening game to Fairville BA 2-0.
BA's on a good run this year.
Yes, they are. The Panthers will play Monday at WEM. Big rivalry, right? Start early in the season. WEM, they've got 2 games in already. They're 1-1. They defeated Maple River 7-1, and they lost to Kenyon 10-1. They will play New Richland Monday, and I do know that when Waterville pitches Dalton Gross, known as Dooch, they'll be very tough. He's a 6'4" left-hander, comes from the side, and if he's throwing strikes, he's very tough. And he did pitch against Maple River.
Didn't they used to have a left-handed pitcher named Luther?
He was a righty and threw hard.
Yeah.
Yep, Timmy Luther.
Okay, so he might have had a trial with the Dodgers or something. Okay.
Yep. And the Blue Jays, we're the only area team that doesn't have a game in yet. We were scheduled to play Thursday at Le Sueur, Friday at Mankato East, and both of those were weathered out. Talk was we were going to play East Saturday, which I'm glad we didn't because it was a much better Saturday.
I got an idea for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Excuse me. Get a bus, go down to Kansas City and see if we can take over for the Twins on the last game today. See if maybe we can bring home a win.
Yeah.
I think East played Randolph yesterday anyway.
Holy Angels. They beat Holy Angels 3-1 yesterday, Mankato
That's
East.
the Fire,
Yep.
isn't it?
Yep.
There's the Holy Family. Which
Holy
one?
Angels.
Okay. Yeah. Johnny Cash song.
So we will get to test our pitching depth early. We play Monday. That was a home game, but that'll be at Janesville. We play Thursday at Le Sueur, and we play Friday a doubleheader at Marshall.
I should get those in.
So it sounds, other than tomorrow, the final 3 should get in for sure, the way things sound now. So hopefully we'll get things underway and see what the Dynasty has to offer.
There you go, buddy.
Okay, MSU Mankato, Teddy. The Mavs baseball team swept Mary yesterday, 5-2, 12-8. They play again today in a doubleheader.
You played Joseph today? Mary and Joseph?
No,
okay,
just
all right.
Mary again.
All right, just Mary
Joseph
again?
didn't make this trip.
Joseph, okay.
The Mavs are 16-9 on the baseball diamond right now. Wednesday they have Augustana coming to town for a doubleheader.
Okay.
The softball team, 30 wins already,
Isn't that
Teddy.
something? I watched them on TV the other day.
30-9. They swept Moorhead yesterday, 6-0, 7-3. They play today at Northern State in Aberdeen, South Dakota. And Tuesday they're at Winona State, both doubleheaders.
Well, they won a doubleheader, I think, on Wednesday, and Coley recently had like 4 strikeouts.
Yeah.
I was wondering what was going on. Jeez, you're just up there in about double figures.
Yeah. But 30 wins at this time of the year. Wow.
Unbelievable.
The Gusties, the Golden Gusties in St. Peter, Minnesota. The baseball team is 8-8 for the year. They play today at Hamlin in a doubleheader. Tuesday, Augsburg comes to town for a doubleheader. It's a lot of ball. You need a lot of pitchers in college, don't you?
You
Playing
really
all
do.
those doubleheaders. The softball team, Jeff Annis, as we know, the Maple River man, is the coach. They are 10-6 to start this season. Today they will be at St. Benedict for a pair. Tuesday they will be at Hamlin for a pair.
I haven't seen a name. It usually has a dominant pitcher, but this year doesn't look like he's got
I think it's Heather Hecox.
Say that one more time.
Heather Hecox, Heacox, I believe is their ace.
Oh, I wonder if she relate it all to Coxie, our coach, maybe.
Who knows? Who knows?
That's a neat name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mankato Bethany, Ryan Craig, the baseball coach, they're off to a slow start, 2-10 to start the season. Today they play Northland in a doubleheader. Tuesday they go to Martin Luther for a doubleheader. And I see, did we mention last week or not, but your boy from Bethany that got axed did get the head coaching basketball job at Martin Luther.
Yes, he did. Whole seater.
Yep.
Big whole seater.
Good.
Great kid. Plus, he was a graduate from Martin Luther. Three sport,
all conference guy.
all three
Yep.
sports. So, I mean, he must know something about the games.
You bet. Softball team at Bethany, 4-12 to start the season. They'll be at Martin Luther for a pair today. And Wednesday they have Northland coming to town for a pair. All doubleheaders in that league, I think, pretty much. The Golden Gophers, hey, they got a sweep against Michigan yesterday. 8-1, 5-3. They're up to 4-1 in the conference, 18-10 for the year. They'll finish out that series at Michigan today, and then next week they have Maryland coming in for 3 games.
You wouldn't think a little Gopher could take down a Wolverine
You
like
wouldn't,
that.
would you?
No,
But
but those little Gophers,
they're mean.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
The Gopher women's softball team, 26-10 already to start the year. They're 6-1 in the Big Ten Conference. They swept Illinois yesterday, 13-0, 6-5. They'll finish that series today, and then Tuesday Wisconsin is in town for a double dip.
The Badgers.
The Badgers.
I think the Badgers will take down a Gopher.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
The Minnesota Twins. Teddy, how about this start? 0-5. 58 Ks in the first 5 games. That's 11 Ks a game.
I was watching that last night,
Oh.
and it's sad. The starting pitching is doing well, I think. But remember last year they started out
1-6.
Yep, and everybody's off. Is this the first time they ever started 0-5?
This is the first time since they've been in Minnesota in 61 that they've ever lost the first 5.
Where were you in 61? What grade? 9th? 8th?
61.
7th?
Oh, geez, yes.
God almighty. Andy, where were you in 61?
About 6th, I think.
1 year old.
Are you serious?
I was 1.
At least you're alive. Holy cow. Well, I sit there and I watch it, and then I get mad. And then I turn it over and go something else, and then I come back because I'm a diehard Minnesota fan right now. But it is just sad to watch those guys just K.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Nothing worse than a K in baseball because
And
no
those-
one has to do anything.
And those young guys, remember how Rosario last year just came out and just hitting like crazy?
Yep.
And they're giving him a breather, and Buxton, they're giving him a breather because he's got so many strikeouts already. And then you got Sano.
Did you see the catch that they showed the replay of 15 times of him going to the right field corner?
Yes.
He did not look at the ball.
Yes.
He stuck out his glove and his head was still looking.
Looking at the infield.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it stuck.
Yep. If that's your backup right fielder, we got a problem.
That's not the backup, that's the starter.
Okay, I just.
Teddy, I know you're dying to talk about your Minnesota Wild.
I got my shirt on underneath the Timberwolves today.
I got my hat on for him
Okay.
as they cruise into the playoffs in the midst of a 5-game losing streak.
I tell you what, they talk about puck luck. Geez, they outshot Calgary like 21 to 4 or something. Calgary went totally 20 minutes without a shot on goal and still wins the game 2-1. That's not good going into playoffs, eh?
The Wild finished 38, 33, and 11, 5 games over 500.
Yep.
Do they open with at Dallas? Did
They
I
don't
see
know
that
yet.
right?
It's either Dallas or St. Louis going into last night, but I think I saw that Dallas. It was going to be Dallas.
I thought I
it's
heard
between those
that
two.
too. Yeah. So that will start Wednesday or Thursday, I believe. They open a best-of-7 series.
And we'll give payback. The best thing is, with their home record, the Wild, I think, got the worst home record for the season, if I've read right. And maybe they're better off having the extra
Probably
games on
are.
the road,
Yeah.
so at least you got a chance of winning. But you stop and think way back when they replaced Joe, and we all said they're not going to make the playoffs.
Right.
Well, they made the playoffs, so
Yep.
we should take satisfaction in that.
True.
And then now everybody's 0-0 after today's games,
bet.
so anything can happen in the
You
playoffs.
bet. And the Wolves, hey, 28
I tell you what.
wins this year.
Tell you what.
They defeated on the road this week Golden State, Sacramento, and Portland. Golden State's second home loss all season.
And Portland had won like 18 in a row at home, and they also, I don't think the Timberwolves beaten us since 2012. So they'd put to rest a lot of those little zombies up there in the air. But I tell you watch Cat after last night. You watch how Ricky Rubio almost gives the game away with the 3, and then he fouls, and then they get the 4-point play, and they go up by 1 with 2 seconds to go, or 1.8 or whatever it was. And then Sam Mitchell, I'm always skeptical of the guy, but he drew up a great inbounds play. Left Cat, he had one-on-one down there in the block, gets it, lays it in, a little half hook, and ball game. They win it. It was great.
Well, it's good to see that, and they should, because they're youngsters, they're playing this hard right to the end.
Well, yeah, and then you look at their ages. Holy cow.
Well, yeah, they're
21, 20.
Yeah, they're 3 stars.
Is Tyus even 20 yet? Tyus Jones?
Probably not.
Probably 19.
Yeah.
So what a nucleus coming back.
And Tyus is getting a little more playing time, isn't he?
And Tayshaun Prince hit a big shot last night. I hit a big shot.
Tayshaun Prince, and then we have to have 3 pictures of KG sitting in his suit every game, and he wants to play next year.
Yeah, and Peck polishing his shoes there on the sidelines.
My gosh, ship him out. Let's go. The Wolves will be home Monday, tomorrow, against the Houston Rockets in the Bearded Wonder.
Do you like that guy?
I cannot stand him.
He's a heck of a player, but the beard, fear the beard, no, cut the beard off, get rid of the.
He reminds me of you. Actually,
I never
going
grew
to
a
the
beard.
hoop.
Oh yeah, well you gotta have a little
legal.
You gotta have a little clearance.
Forearm, and you were an expert at it.
It was a shiver.
Yeah, well, whatever it was, you were darn good at it.
A little shiver.
Well, Teddy, you got any?
I got to tell you where I learned that move, okay?
Yep.
A guy named Ed Barksdale. When I was in the Air Force, we used to play all the time over in Japan. And he was from the East Coast, and he taught me that move. And and then he gave me all kinds of dirty stuff to do. You wouldn't brush your teeth, and you wouldn't shave, and then he'd always rub up against your shoulder and leave you with the whisker burns on your shoulder. And then he'd breathe on you, and he'd just about pass out from his breath.
He taught you well.
He taught me very well.
Yeah, you bet.
That's how you landed Penny.
Yeah, right.
Anything else you have, Teddy? My sheet is cleared.
Have you ever flown a kite lately?
Oh, no, not lately.
Okay, because we have the grandkids now, so we went out in our back 40 back there, and this is really fun.
Yeah.
To fly a kite. We got the weather for it, no problem at all. Then I brought my golf club just in case we do get out on a course.
Yeah.
Okay, this is my trusty 3. I like that baby. But I do have one thing I want to bring up about Canadian hockey. Okay. Did you read this? First time ever that a Canadian team did not make the playoffs. Now, where is the birth of hockey?
Wow,
Isn't Canada supposed to be the birth of hockey, or that's where I mean, remember they used to laugh at American teams because they were so lousy and everything?
Yeah.
Not a Canadian team.
That is something.
That is unreal.
Yeah.
And so Calgary last night, I'm sure they relish in the fact that they beat going into the Wild because they're in the playoffs and Calgary isn't.
Yeah.
But it's amazing.
Wow.
And then they talked about all who are the top draftees now and stuff, and they're American kids. They're not. And they used to be a hotbed up there. So that's kind of sad.
And I did prepare again for you because the North Dakota, known as the
Fighting Hawks.
Way to go.
Okay.
I had that down too. Did win the college hockey championship last night.
Now, how do you say that name they played?
Quinnipiac?
Is it Quinnipiac? Quinnipiac? I mean,
however you want. They got beat 5-1.
I know. Quinnipiac. But why didn't you just come up with a different Q? We just call them Q.
Yeah.
But nobody knows how to pronounce the damn name.
I know it.
Jeez. But it was fun to watch the the Hawks win.
Yeah, they won it.
Yeah. Anything else?
Well, the Masters today, the final day, and
Ricky Fowler. I watched him when he didn't make the cut. I watched. We talked about Ernie Els.
Ernie with his 6-putted from 3 feet.
I thought it was 7 putts, but
there was something because originally they gave him a 10, but they came back halfway through the broadcast and said he officially has a 9.
Okay.
On the first hole.
Right. And now you got these people that watch religiously, and Zach Johnson would have made the cut, but then because he was in a water hazard and his club grounded in the water on the way back and his backswing, they added 2 more strokes. He missed the cut. So I'm thinking, boy, that media today, you can't do anything different. Somebody's going to pick up on you right away.
Well, we have some real big names, some no names, all within 3-4 strokes today. And
Spieth could have put it away.
Today's supposed to be the first day of good weather, no wind.
So somebody could shoot a 66 and win it. So,
but like Teddy said, hopefully they got out and watered the greens this morning, because that's like putting on cement.
Just putting on this table right here. That'd be about it. Yeah.
But that is a show. That every hole is so beautiful there that.
I love Jim Nance's voice.
Yeah.
And he's such a good influence on that game. But, yeah, it used to be I never thought I'd really want to go down there and see the place. Now I think I'd like to go see the place.
I do too.
They've really built it up. Yep. Well, buddy.
That'll do her for this week's show. Do you have a little tune to close on?
Chicago, Chicago. What's the nickname for Chicago?
The Windy City.
The Windy City. That's why. That rattling town, about Chicago, Chicago. Okay.
That'll do it for this week's show. Thanks to Hudson and Steve Anderson for producing the show.
And you'll notice I shut up today.
And keeping quiet most of the time.
Never said anything.
What are you doing right now? Talk.
No clubhouse stories from Tink Larson Field?
Oh,
not for a family show.
We got 4 minutes?
We got 4 minutes.
That's like telling me we got a half hour, baby.
Thanks to Ted Hammond, my right-hand man. And thanks to you for watching. Hopefully we'll all see you next week.
R2D2, R2D2, R2D2.